We're having the weirdest finish to a week financially we've had in the United States in a long time. All right, so I'm going to talk about everything that happened because it's crazy. But to give you an idea, I look at finance news every single day. I make content every single day. That way you guys can stay updated. But we had so much weird stuff happen that I couldn't even keep track of it all. And it was so random and just off the wall that I didn't even know what to do with it. First is the inflation report came out and inflation went up to 3%. But the bigger question I had when I saw this is what happened to all the talk of the BLS shutting down? Apparently that didn't happen. So the BLS continues to be funded even though the government shut down, and the inflation report comes out and it's 3%. So all this talk about the Federal Reserve flying blind because the economic data just isn't there to help them make the decision on interest rates really must not be all that true. And then pretty much almost immediately after that, it was reported that the Federal Reserve is going to print off $1.5 trillion after they do the next interest rate cut. So apparently they're not at all worried about the 3% inflation that we just saw in September. And I don't know if you guys saw the movie Grandma's Boy where Nick Swartzen is on Dance Dance Revolution and then he completely just goes off on the game and sets a new record. And then he's like, high score, is that bad? Did I break it? Well, that's what the United States just did. Apparently, we broke our previous record with debt, and now it's up to $38 trillion. And as soon as that happens, we get our downgraded rating for credit, which apparently is a pretty important thing for America. Our credit just got downgraded to AA minus. And I'm sure that has a lot to do with the high score that we just got in debt. And then the IMF comes out and says, hey, just let you know, the U.S. only grew by 2% in 2025. And while all that's going on and all this news seems to be horrible, the stock market's like, oh, this is exciting. Let's go ahead and buy as much stock as we possibly can. Oh, by the way, here's some news about Social Security. Apparently, Social Security payments are rising by 2.8% next year. But again, inflation is 3% for September. So if this trend of 3% continues going into next year, really the Social Security recipients are losing 0.2%. But don't worry about that because Trump says the stock market is doing great because of the tariffs. All the while, we have the East Wing of the White House being torn to pieces. But don't worry, because that's being funded privately by all of these companies that are doing pretty well. And then we have a scare by Zion Bank that just showed that they have a lot of bad debt and they might actually go bust. But again, Wall Street shrugged that one off. So the news has been all over the place, up and down, left and right. You don't know what's real and what's not real. But the good news is you have this page, so just follow me. I'll try to break it down as best as I can and try to keep up with it. But holy crap, was this a busy week.